You are now listening to the Team OD podcast, where conversations are centered around anything and everything outdoors related. Welcome to today's episode. What's up, guys? This is episode 3 with Outdoor Defiance podcast. And this week we're going over our last Tuesday live recording with Hunter's Advantage. If you guys don't know, every other Tuesday we're doing a live question and answer through Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can look us up through Hunter's Advantage, or you can look us up through Outdoor Defiance. Most time we're just live through Facebook and Instagram because that's all StreamYard lets us run through when we are live with Hunter's Advantage. Sorry, I can't speak tonight. But we do that every other Tuesday. Our next one will be February 20th, and then after that it'll be March 5th. So if you guys have any questions you want, or you're just bored, go ahead and tune in. So this week we're with Christian Babcock and Jake Gaylord, and here we go.
I just saw Brandon's comment. Thanks everybody for tuning back into the podcast. This is our bi-weekly Q&A that we do with Outdoor Defiance. So we're joined by Taylor Smith, Jake Gaylord. I'm Christian, and so what we're going to do in this podcast is we're basically just going to try to do live Q&A with people all over Instagram. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Outdoor Defiance is live on Facebook and Instagram. So drop the questions below, and we'll get into them. So here they're coming in already. Veterans Outdoorsman. Hey guys, what's up? Dude, he looks like he's holding a nice buck. He's got some eye guards on those things. What are those? We don't have eye guards where we're from.
We just have eyebrows.
Jake, you're muted.
Remember that?
Yeah,
my apologies. Yeah, our eye guards here are like 3 inches, but I mean that's average for about everything here.
I'd say
that.
GT Hunts says, "What's up, Bo? What's up, Bo?" Hunter Simmons says the new intro is awesome. Thank you. I hired my uncle to do that. You guys might have seen. It's mid.
We TCRs.
A Notch said, "It's my favorite boyfriends. You weren't supposed to tell anybody that." I'm gonna take that comment away. And he says 3 inches is a little big.
See, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't going to say anything.
That's awesome.
Okay, so I just want to tell you all this, or ask you guys this: have you all canceled your trail cam subscriptions yet?
Today,
or am I the only one? Because I'm a tightwad when it comes to that. It literally was like January 16th, and I said suspend.
No longer needed.
Yeah.
No, mine are still rolling.
Oh.
Because you got big deer, you're hunting private land, dude. We're not like
big
that.
Deer. No, got that 3.5-year-old 140-inch. I'm private, bro.
There you go. No, I canceled mine literally today because I looked at my budgeting app and it said $37, and I was like, no, like, that's not going to work. So I canceled all of them today.
Guess how many buck pictures I got the whole year?
Did you go through them all today?
Yeah.
How many did you get this year?
17.
17 bucks. And how many of them were the same bucks?
16. I had like one floater. I'm not even kidding. So basically, whatever that added up between the cameras, yeah, I had like 4 or 5 cell cams. It was not worth it.
Easily, you paid like probably a few $100s not to see nothing but like a
one. It was like a 6.
Do what?
Was it
what
like
was the biggest
6?
one you got?
The biggest one I got was that heck, I'll try to pull up a picture real quick. It was that 13 point or 12 point, whatever you call it, that would score like maybe 140, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was the one with the huge. The other one was the one with the 2-inch gash in the shoulder that was about 60 inches. Yeah, I have a couple of those, but other than that,
veteran outdoorsman. This is the guy we're talking about his eye guards on his buck. He said that's a few years ago, 128-inch 8-point.
That's a great 8.
You know, that is a really nice 8-point. And the thing is, if you posted that on Facebook and the forums, you could get anywhere from 115 to 168 inches. That's how people are. I appreciate a nice, respectable score because that's a nice buck. 120.
Your recurve buck was like what, like 105?
195 is what he was. Yeah,
gotcha.
95. Oh, here we go.
Taylor probably wouldn't even shoot a 128, would you?
He did this year.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you did. What was the one you shot? Like 120, something like?
Okay,
Like
so
that?
I don't know. I didn't even measure it, dude. He was like 6.5.
6.5.
Sitting right next to 150-inch 4.5-year-old.
A Notch says my trail cameras were canceled when I missed that buck. It's like hitting on the girl at the bar, is transitioning. How do you know? How do you know they're transitioning? Would be my question.
I think it's the face and maybe the voice.
I've always been told it's the hands.
If they have an Adam's apple, it's like might be a little sketch there.
I think so. Joe, holy last name.
Jawanja.
Joan. That was pretty good, dude. Are you part
Okay.
African? That was good. Running 12 spy points all year with solar panels. That's good. I mean, I don't run spy points, but
didn't you though
okay.
at one point?
Yeah, I did. And
what's your honest opinion?
They didn't work very well for me,
No.
and so after they quit working, we played ball with them. So we soft tossed them to each other, and we grabbed a stick and we tried to hit them as far as we could, and that's what we did with them.
There was somebody, I think it was on the Chasing Giants podcast, Terry Peer, or however you say his last name.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this was the right brand. I could just be bashing them for no reason, but after what they did to you, screw them. But apparently what he did is he got some in the mail and he threw them up in the air and said pull and then shot them with a 12 gauge. He said brand new spy points. I'm pretty sure they were spy points, and that's what he said. But
that
what did he do to you?
Who?
He said after what he did to you.
After what the spy points did to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant what that guy did to you. I was like, dang.
Oh no.
I stole his trail cameras and shot him. Dylan Cash said, what cell cams are you guys running? What are you running, Taylor?
I run the Tacticam Reveals.
All right, rich guy.
Just
kidding.
Yeah.
You run all Tacticam?
Yeah, I did buy oh my gosh. Let me think what it is. It's Stealth Cam. I got a Stealth Cam from a guy and I ran it on public all year.
Wait, you ran like a cell cam on public?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody ran away with it or what?
Getting yoinked or what?
Somebody ran away with it after that or what?
No, it's still there.
Must be good at hiding them.
You guys don't have to, yeah. I have one at your house right now, Christian. No, that Stealth Cam did pretty good. It didn't really, it's, oh my gosh, like a motion detector, I guess, or sensitivity is what you're looking at. I don't know if I totally agree with it, but it did its job. Let me know what was there when they got close, but I feel like I missed a little farther off when the Tacticams would have picked them up. But I had about $15 in that camera, so I kind of risked it versus what a Tacticam runs. But Tacticam's the way to go if you're going to do it.
What's the monthly charge on those bad boys?
I think Tacticam 16 for unlimited.
Oh, that ain't bad at all.
And then I want to say, I don't remember on the Stealth. I actually ended the Stealth I think last week. And so I don't remember that one. Honestly.
Stealths are like $20 a month per.
I want to say it's 23, but I don't know why I keep thinking that.
I don't know, tax.
So Jake, what are you running?
I run like a combination like of cell cams. I got a few stealth cams and then some Exodus cameras as well.
You run the Rivals?
Again, I'm not the right guy. Yeah, I'm not the right guy to talk on that because, like I said, I've only had like a handful of bucks this whole year. So don't ask me how they do because all I'm going to say is full battery on all of them. I mean,
your camera's got to work out this year, huh?
They're in hibernation. What do you mean?
I put a solar panel on a couple of mine this year. That's hands down the best way to go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What do you run, Christian?
I run a mix too. I'm pretty like from year to year. You'll see me switching gear quite a bit just because I like trying stuff. I run a mix of Exodus, and then I had one Moultrie, and then a couple Tacticams. I had a weird issue this year with Tacticams that like 6 of them quit working on one day, and I don't know what was going on. So that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth.
Hey, someone just posted on my Instagram a really good question. Does that pop up on you?
Who is it? Colton or who?
It's Brendan.
Can't post comments to some destinations. No, if I don't see it. You can
I
ask
don't
it though.
see it.
Here, put it.
You said, what's y'all's thoughts on Colorado reintroducing wolves and proposing a bill to eliminate predator hunting in Colorado?
Eliminate predator hunting?
Yeah.
So they're releasing and then they're trying to eliminate it?
I didn't know anything about that one. I knew about the wolves. So that's a new one about the eliminating it. Chris, what's your thoughts?
I'm assuming that would include trapping and stuff too. I don't know about you guys, but I've heard the especially the elk population is down and on public land for sure. So the idea that there's not enough predators, I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems like wolves would decimate something. And I don't understand the thing taking away trapping or coyote hunting or any of that sort of stuff. That seems a little silly.
Yeah, so I don't know how much research you guys done, but I've done a lot. I have a buddy that lives up there. And so the biologist said, no, don't do it. And they took it to voting, like to vote upon it. And that's ended up who passed it were the voters. Well, then the people that voted no, they end up releasing most of the wolves in the areas of the people that said no, don't bring them. And, yeah. So listen to this too. All the other states around them that have wolves wouldn't sell them. They had to finally, I forget where, is it Oregon or Washington, maybe? I don't know which one, but they finally talked them into selling them some wolves to bring them. But none of the other states were like, no, don't do it. It was the worst thing we ever did. Don't do it. And they just kept going through with it and then took the average guy's vote, not the biologist's word. So it's kind of crazy. And then if you're going to take it completely away, that's wild. You guys are everything. Nothing will be over the counter anymore. It's all going to be draw. I guarantee you that.
What states have introduced wolves that hasn't gone well? Did Montana do that? I'm sure they were already there.
Montana, and if you look into the Yellowstone statistics on when they introduced wolves, I want to say Washington or Oregon, one of the two did. And so yeah, nothing came out positive.
Yeah. Well, that's one of Jake's bucket list hunts. So
yeah, that's what I was about to say, man. Like I'm all for shooting an elk. Trust me, I want to someday. But what I really want to do is shoot. Like I honestly think I'd rather shoot a wolf than an elk right now. There's just something about them that I don't know. They're mystical. So
have you seen them like held up next to a coyote? Like what? How big they are?
There's that photo on that used to be floating around Facebook. It was a wolf and a coyote hanging from a tree, and it looked like 3 or 4 times the size of just that coyote. And right there, it's like, okay, immediate wolf rug.
I think they're like 200 plus. Like a lot of them are. It's insane.
Oh, they're big boys. I'm gonna look at that real quick, actually.
Because I was talking to
well, there's 2 different species
of wolves there. Interesting.
Explain yourself.
Oh, there's like a gray wolf and geez, you guys caught me off guard.
Caught you lacking.
Can you hear that noise in the background?
It says gray wolves are twice the size of coyotes.
Twice. Yeah,
twice the size.
I was talking to the guy from Steel Creek Outfitters. I forget his name. We had him on the podcast, but he was talking about how you can barely even hunt wolves. Like it's like you just have to go.
Dude, they're smart.
Something else, and you just have to hope that you run into one. That's how it works.
That's the thing.
There's a gray wolf, an eastern wolf, and the red wolf.
Nice. We got a ton of questions rolling in or comments rolling in. Let's
hold on. Yeah. Am I able to share my screen real quick, just while we're on topics of wolves?
I don't know. You can try.
Present. Share screen. We're going to do this one. All right. Can y'all see my screen now?
There you go.
Dude, look at the size difference.
Is that compared to a coyote?
That's a coyote. That's a wolf. And just from picture, I know everybody likes to like hold their fish way out. This coyote's obviously closer than the wolf. And just look still at the size difference.
That coyote looks the size of my French bulldog.
Collared too. That's crazy. I don't know, man. Wolves are just so dang cool.
It's like the first time I met Christian, I thought he was bigger, and then we took a picture and I looked like a wolf and he looked like a coyote.
Dude,
Yeah,
not
okay,
not a
buddy.
lot of people know that. Christian's only like 5'11", 5'10".
It's kind of crazy that I can
Tall
pull it
and
off on
round.
camera. Yeah. Ryan Bertha, he said, so you think you have a chance in the turkey competition? Nope. Never thought I did. So there's a competition with Unnotched, Basement Decorator, Missouri Public Hunter, all that big group of guys at Stubby. They did a competition last year, and a guy shot one that had Basement Decorator, Thomas, shot one that was 13 and a half inches beard. And I was like, I don't believe that. And then he held it up to a ruler, and it dang sure was. But no, I'm not much of a turkey hunter.
I mean, if y'all want to have a fall competition, I could dust all y'all. That's all I'm saying.
You
During
got
the
the
spring,
roost?
we don't get it, but during the fall and winter, dude, there's like 80 of them out there.
Yeah, I don't really have a place to hunt turkeys. Peyton said, man, that Outdoor Defiance guy has been duck hunting my field.
Oh, Peyton, be quiet.
Are you much of a duck hunter?
Me?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Okay, so I've asked a lot of people the same question. What's better, deer hunting or duck hunting?
Deer hunting.
Good, it's not
Okay.
even close.
Okay, I was about to say. Never mind. It's going
It's
to be
not
a
even
Duck
very
hunting
short
is different because
conversation.
you get to go with your friends and get to, you gotta get to be loud and quiet, or not have to be quiet, and you kind of got to work for you got to work for the animal a different way. So yeah, it has a different like pros and cons. But when it comes down to it, you say a 10 man of birds or a 160-inch deer. I'm shooting a
That's the thing.
160-inch bird or
It's the
160-inch deer.
160-inch bird's a monster.
It's the reward aspect because
Yeah.
it was Corey Smith. I think that's his
Yeah.
last name.
It's a
But,
pretty certain last name.
Yeah, well, I guess they just give it to everybody. But
No,
we were
it's-
having the same
it's-
conversation, and he was saying that turkey hunting was better. Just turkey hunting or duck hunting. I forget which one we're on, but regardless, it's like duck hunting is consumed of multiple small highs, is his argument, and then deer hunting is just like boring, and then you get one extreme high, during that 15-second encounter where you release an arrow. And we were debating on the two, and quite frankly, I thought I won, but it's just that's my personal preference.
The 15 seconds after you shoot a buck and he's running off and you see it pumping out both sides and he's going down, you can't.
Yeah.
If that's what crack feels like, I'd be an addict, because that is like the
Would have
best feeling
overdosed
in the
this
world.
year.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
joke.
Here we got a good question here. Colton Hurley said, any advice for someone new to the west central part of Ohio for hunting? Where's the trees? I don't know where the trees are. And he added
if you find the trees, you find the deer. That's all
he
I'm
added
saying.
a follow-up. He said, little bit of back info. I'm originally from Northeast Missouri and moved out here almost 2 years ago. So I was in Ohio. I don't even know if I call it being in Ohio. I went to Ohio. I didn't buy a deer tag. I remember driving around seeing all the ag, and there's like these little woodlots, like blocks. It's like there's 5 acres here or 10 acres here in this wood block. And I think it's interesting and really challenging hunting that sort of stuff, because it's like exactly where the deer are, but when they're in one isolated bedding area surrounded by hundreds or thousands of acres of field, it's hard to like approach or encroach into that bedding area. So I don't really know how to hunt that. I've never done it before. We hunted Kansas quite a bit, but it's not really like that. Like, you have creeks and other travel corridors that you can deal with. It's not just big isolated pieces of timber. Nobody else here has been in Ohio.
No.
I've never been. I've only heard about it.
Sorry,
Sounds
Colton.
like me. I don't want to go because my deer will get taken away from me when I kill one.
Don't kill a big one. Here we go.
Good.
Here's a good question.
gosh.
Peyton said, would you trade your wives for 3 200-inch deer on your wall?
Hey, I would, because look, I'm not locked down. Trade her up.
Christian?
Would I?
Yep.
Man. If you could get remarried later, maybe. I mean, I'd probably have to. No. 3 200-inch bucks. That'd be pretty satisfying for a while.
You'd be up there with Don Higgins. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I'd be like, honey, this is a financial play. I'm going to be in the industry. I'm going to open up my booths. I don't know.
Trying to even get them all confiscated.
Yeah. Here's a good one. Micah said running 17 Moultrie mobile cams, waiting on that sponsorship. It sounds like they're making hundreds of dollars a month, so you're going to continue to wait on sponsorship.
But unlike me, his cameras actually paid off. He got a good one this year, didn't he?
Yeah, Mike shot a really good one. Yeah, like probably a 20-inch wide 10-point, low 140s. I think it had one eye guard broke off, so probably a mid to upper 140s. Richard Davis. Ooh, that's a nice elk.
That's my homie.
That's the guy who that elk is from. I seen that on Oklahoma Bowhunter. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he killed it on Fort Sill.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't invite me, but we'll get off that subject real fast.
All right, let's see what else we got. Richard Davis said shoot them all. I think he's talking about the wolves.
Yes, sir.
And save the herds. He said, okay, here's an interesting one. Sam LaPlante said, you guys got 5 days left in the season. You want to kill a buck. What's your move?
Food.
Drop me off. That's my move.
Little South Texas action.
Yeah.
What's your move? It's January 10th. You're in Oklahoma, and you got to
be in Oklahoma.
Let's say you drew a tag for Kansas or Oklahoma. Okay. Those are stomping grounds.
Public
or private doesn't matter. What's your plan?
My plan would be the same thing as last year when we drew out for Kansas, or I guess season's over. So 2 years ago when we drew out for Kansas, because we were there late season and we seen just as good of action as we did, earlier, even the rut. So that would be my move. And then just kind of going on those fields that have a few rows of standing beans and kind of setting up over there.
About you Tyler?
Oh, I'd probably be hunting. If it was real cold, be hunting the beans or the cornfields, but probably mainly beans, which in our area we don't have any. So I'd be hunting food, be hunting wheat, be praying that I don't have to eat tag soup.
You think late season wheat is like, in a lot of Oklahoma, I don't see a ton of beans. I don't see a ton of corn. You think late season wheat is like a primary food source for those deer?
Yeah, go buy wheat fields at dark.
What are you poaching? Going at dark?
Spotlighting in Oklahoma? Is that what you're doing?
Me and my Ohio friend are hanging out. Tell a joke.
Yeah. I think similar to these guys, I probably wouldn't be hunting my private unless it was over a corn feeder. And if I was hunting public, especially somewhere in Kansas, it would be in those places. Kansas does a good job on their planning schedules.
Yeah, they do.
And they do a really good job of leaving crops, like leaving beans and leaving rows left over. And I think that's pretty sweet. And because that field that we hunted, Jake, where you got the shot at that 8-point, they left a lot of strips of beans, and you could tell, even in a good amount of snow, there was still a lot hanging up, and there was a lot of deer that flooded in that field.
Yeah, that's pretty surprised me. Do we have any more questions, or am I allowed to ask a question?
Okay, here's one last one, and then you can ask a question. You got to read this one.
So to have a season he had. Who's Christian, and did he have a good season?
Yeah, she sounds hideous.
She can't even get in. I did sell my soul. I can't hunt all next fall for the season that I had. That's just an agreement with my wife.
It's not hard when you shoot small ones, Christian. Got him.
That's true.
Christian had a heck of a year. I was telling him all year. I was like, when you have a year like that, you got to keep going. I can't believe you slowed down like you did. I'd have kept going, dude. It was unreal.
By November 17th, I'd killed 4 bucks.
Yeah, I stopped hunting because.
Do what?
I was like, it's not even fun. I'm gonna be in the stand, and Christian's gonna be like, "Oh, shot another one." What? No way.
No. Okay. Listen.
I didn't even know when you're drawing Oklahoma that if you shot a buck, they give you another tag. I thought you meant you had a tag for next year, and I was like, "Oh, sweet, he gets to go back next year." And then next thing he's like, text me, he's like, "Didn't see much tonight," and I was like, "How are you hunting?" He's like, "That extra tag, dude." I was like, "No way."
Mm-hmm.
You about got it done.
Yeah.
You were the most demoralizing thing is, and I know Christian didn't mean it, but we were at our deer camp that we take every freaking year in Oklahoma. and we were in the wall tent. And of course, I don't get the best sleep while we're down there. A, because our tent was flooded half the time we were there. But Christian slept in the morning. You get up, you go, which he was tagged out. Thank you for being there, Christian. But when you walk back in the tent, he's still laying in bed after your morning sit, and he's holding like 140 and 150 inch rack, just like looking at him. And I'm walking back in the tent from not seeing anything out on public. And it's like, well, I just now walked 2 miles and I didn't see a thing, but I appreciate you putting those in view of everybody.
If you could have gambled, if they said, hey, you can gamble your 126 for a shot at another one, I would have traded it in to try to go hunt public that week. I really would have, just because that was a good week. There was some deer going down that week.
Starting Thursday, it was a good week, because that's exactly when that front finally freaking moved in, and that's when people started seeing deer. But yeah, from that Monday or Sunday to Wednesday, it sucked.
Well, and you killed one, Mason killed one, Jordan killed one. Was there any guys in the camps around us that started shooting bucks?
Yeah. So one of them shot at one and missed one, and there's a couple doe taken, and then 2 of them ended up getting a buck down, and they were pretty dang good ones.
Really?
So yeah, they started falling. They started falling fast. But at that point, the gas tank was about on, I don't know, E.
A little under E.
Yeah. It's like, well, it says 0 miles till empty, so let's just hope it makes it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Here's one you can read from Taylor, from your boy Richard. You got to read it because our audio folks are maybe not listening to the video.
Oh, if the birds are here, duck hunting for sure. Doesn't even compare in my companion.
Companion? What's a companion?
That's a companion and an opinion together.
You just leave me alone.
It's a friendly opinion is what it is.
If the birds here, duck hunting for sure. Here's the thing, though.
I'd have to be deer hunting. It depends. I guess it depends. I'm a situation guy. Last 2 weeks ago we talked over this. You have to put me in the situation. Are you saying if I have a big buck coming in every now and then, and there's a lot of ducks here? Oh, I'm gonna go deer hunt. I'll probably duck hunt the morning, but for sure deer hunt the night if there was absolutely a whole lot of ducks, I guess. But
see, I don't know. I've probably killed 80% of my bucks in the mornings, so I would rather. Jake's an evening guy too.
I prefer evenings, but I don't care. I really don't care. I prefer evenings, but if I have a better shot in the mornings, I'll go in the mornings. Obviously, probably the same as you would, but this year, it was really morning centralized. It seemed like once the front moved in on our public spot, and we're actually found the deer. I seen 3 bucks 3 mornings in a row, and they were all different bucks, and nothing in the evenings.
Well, with the global warming crap, tinfoil hat on, engaged. I feel like through October through November 15th, half the time it doesn't even get below freezing. And so the mornings are your best opportunity to get any type of cold at all, most of that first half of the season. And so that's why I like hunting the mornings, because I don't like waiting until the last 5 minutes of dark to be like, okay, here comes the deer.
Yeah, I've only shot one deer in the morning.
One buck in the morning.
Yep. Other than that, it's been evening time, not right before dark, but it's been 30, 40 minutes within dark. But yeah, I don't know what.
Is that because you just don't get up in the mornings? Or...
Oh, I go.
You can't kill them if you don't hunt.
Can't kill them sitting on the couch.
Oh, exactly.
Hey, Mark St. Martin II has a really good question.
Okay. Oh no, we got to can that one. Do you want to go to that one? Let's do them in order. Let's do them in order. We'll blaze through some of these other ones. He's got a good one for Jake and Taylor. So Basement Decorator said, "Is there a buck that you didn't get that still keeps you up at night?" Taylor, what do you got?
There's a couple bucks that I don't know what happened to them. Don't really keep me up at night. Now there is a deer that's been on my mind. It's been in my mind for rent free for the last 3 years. Is that double drop time that I sent you? And that deer, no idea where he went. Had him all the way until the day of opening archery season. Just vanished. None of my neighbors killed him. I mean, he would have been on social media. A deer like that, you don't just hear like someone shoots it and no one talks about it unless it's poached. But even then, it was probably still talked about somewhere. But no, that deer does this year. Not really. I had a rough year. I shot my oldest buck on camera, and then the other two that I was after broke off. One deer in velvet and one 3 days after I got a picture of him hardhorn. So I just kind of laid low. I had two other bucks show up. They showed up for a couple nights, but nothing lives in my head like where that double drop went.
I was watching one of your videos yesterday. I think it was the buck you shot last year with your rifle, that super tanked up 8-point, big bodied sucker.
Yeah.
So you know that big, tall, racked buck that had the huge eye guards, like 9 or 10-inch eye guards, I think.
Yeah.
That buck.
That's him.
That's the buck you're talking about, the double drop?
So no. The huge, the one, the broke off one, is that you're talking about?
I'm talking, he was in your video. You had him.
No, dude, the double drop. It had like 2 double drops, and then the third main beam shooting up. It was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
I'm not that one. I did forget about him. He makes me scratch my head at what happened to him. But
he was a monster, though.
Year before was bigger.
Mm.
That 8-point I shot in that video, the year before he was a 9-point and he was bigger.
Yeah, I hate when my bucks get sold. They shrink. That sucks.
That's the worst.
I'm just kidding, Taylor.
Like that.
Jake, what's a buck that still keeps you up at night? One you didn't
Which
get?
one?
The one picture you got.
He's like, unroll a scroll.
Now listen, over the years, I've all on public too. No, actually, scratch that. So there was one, I don't know, like 2016, 2017, something like that. It was that 13 AT&T raising the bar, Christy.
Oh my gosh, that was
So he was like wasn't little. He's a basket rack deer, and when
I say 13 inches wide,
so one side looked like this, is what it looked like.
He's one of those deer that when he turns sideways and the tines don't line up, it looks like he has 10 on one side.
Yeah,
like that.
Like his spread wasn't very big, probably like maybe 14 inches, maybe. And but he was tall and he had some tines. I think probably mid 140s is what I would say.
I'm gonna bring up a picture of this deer.
And he comes walking out on this little clear cut, and it's weird. I have a problem with as soon as deer step out, they immediately look up at me. I don't know what.
It's those little pine trees, dude. There's no foliage.
Probably.
They're like, that tree has cancer. It's hanging off.
So just to kind of like play it back, I'm sitting on this ridge. Christian is probably, or not even a ridge, it's like a little tree line. This is when we very first started hunting this place in like 2016, 2017, whatever it was. Christian's probably 250 yards to my left. And one of our buddies, Jared Hayes, he was probably about 300 yards to my right. And I'm sitting right there and I'm thinking, I'm not going to see a dang thing, because if it walks from the left, Christian's going to, poke it. If it walks from the right, Jared's going to poke it. Plus, at this point, I'm in a climber and I'm playing heck trying to find a position to get my camera on, because it's just started filming out of a climber. And it's before I tried to, I figured out how to like position it in between the stand where it's like right here instead of like all the way up here.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, I hear something walking behind me. I turn, I see a butt of a deer. And I'm thinking, okay, I have a lifetime, so anything's going to try to get deflated. It steps out, walks directly towards me. As soon as it steps out, I kind of turn and look, because I was fiddling with my bow trying to get hooked on the D-loop and stuff. And I turn and look. This thing's facing directly at me, walking down this tree line. And I just see antlers, tall tines. And I remember one tine was snapped. And he immediately sees me and he starts like doing that slow movement where he's like about to start like that little skipping stuff, whatever it's called. Anyways, he starts that little prance and stuff, and he gets about 30 yards. I draw back, I shoot. I think I make the best shot I've ever made in my whole life. And
that's not saying
kind
much.
of, yeah, I know. Long story short, hit him in the butt. But no, in all honesty, he was quartered away a little bit, and I stuck it right behind the broadside shoulder, and it stuck in the exit, or the far shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
He starts doing a ditch digger, runs into the freaking tall grass, this old clear cut, and that was the end of it. And long story short, we found blood like 300 yards away, followed it for, I don't know, half a mile, and then it just petered off.
If this was the day of the dogs, we would have found that buck. Oh my gosh. That's a freak of nature.
You want to drop me a pin?
Yeah, it's out in the Panhandle.
Okay.
No worries.
I know a guy.
I'm on my way.
Like, there he is. A month before he.
Is that a
Hold
corn
on
pile?
No.
I think I can put you.
Oh my God, you little cheater.
I
Anyways.
think the biggest one that keeps me up at night, still keeps me up at night, I think it is the 140-inch 8-point that I hit in the head. I think I have. I think it really is. That
Might as
buck,
well tell that story for the new ones.
I don't even think I've heard this one, dude.
bought a bow at Academy. Bought it like 3 days before we headed to the mountains. I was in Stillwater.
Second mistake.
Yeah. That tells you how much money it was at my disposal. It was like $300. I went and bought a bow at Academy, and my uncle invited me to public on the in the mountains. So went down that weekend. I shot 2 does the first evening with that new bow. I was like, this thing is awesome. This is sweet. And we drug those out, and the next morning I decided to go out again. Well, I went out, and there was a legitimately 140-inch 8-point, and I have a picture. I'll show you. 140-inch 8-point comes in. You know, Jake,
picture.
this is a big 8-point. He comes in huge, 25 yards behind me. I was gonna miss right in front of his brisket. Like, I just pulled it, dude. I'm not kidding. When my pin was on fur, lightning struck me. Yeah, I hit the trigger. It was gonna go right in front of his brisket, but his head was down, so he turned and it hit him square in the forehead. Square. And this is a Muzzy 3-blade, like fixed blade broadhead, and it sounded like a Louisville Slugger over somebody's back. Like, it cracked. It was like,
and it didn't
no,
kill
he
him?
stumbled, and I just saw my arrow going through the 6-foot-tall grass like this.
Oh, that's funny.
I walked and found my arrow, and it was literally just broke off the insert. I swear to you, my broadhead probably went in 1/8 of an inch, quarter of an inch.
That's what you get when you only pull back 35 pounds, buddy.
At the time, it was probably something like that.
It
That and your
probably was.
arrow
Now it's
setup
only
was probably
45.
atrocious.
So look at this.
Oh, that's 132.
Decent.
That's 140-inch 8-point. I guarantee those were like 12 and 10, and then eye guards and huge beams. Don't get your binos out on me. Hookshot's got a good question here.
Hey, you've missed.
Huh?
Oh, that was before his. I'm waiting on the Mark question.
Have you
that
ever
more
hunted
questions
Axis?
down lower.
No, we've never hunted Axis, but if you have a place, we'd love to.
Yeah, if you have a problem, I know 2 guys.
I know 3 guys.
Well, I know 2.
Me, Jake, and Peyton.
Oh.
Welcome to the Hunter's Advantage podcast.
That's if you just want them all run around injured. If you really want them dead, call me and Gunner.
I can blast one on the head, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Hey, spine's the best shot, man.
Here's a good one. God Given said, great job on your interview with CJ. Please keep us updated on any developments. We have got some messages since that podcast. Let me tell
I can
you.
only imagine, dude.
Let me tell you. What did he say in his story, Jake, the international hunter? What did he say?
Dude.
He said, if you like listening to meth head poachers, go check out the Hunter's Advantage podcast.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
People
You
are
mean
savage
Poacher's Advantage?
online.
Yeah, Poacher's Advantage. There was one girl that sent us a case from the Clinton County courts, I guess, that had been created 2 days or yesterday around CJ. There was a case that started. That's pretty interesting. So maybe our interview prompted the judge to be like, speed it up.
Yeah, maybe.
Off with his head.
Yeah.
Just
Who
kidding.
knows?
Who knows?
We're-
We'll figure it out.
That is
We're
really
gonna see.
weird, though. That is really weird how, I mean, just since we're on the topic, how he said, wait, when did that lady say that
The case was yesterday.
was yesterday and the podcast came out like 3 days ago?
3 days ago, I think is what it was.
That's weird.
Oh my gosh. Don't even be saying it's because
I'm playing. No. That's not what I was saying. But I'm
That's
trying
not
to
what
play
that's exactly
devil's
what I'm saying.
advocate, because he said then he didn't have any charges filed against him,
Right.
and then 2 days later he now has a charge filed. Like,
what's the charges?
It doesn't say. It's very vague. It just says Ohio Wildlife Department, CJ Alexander. It doesn't have like a lot of the fields aren't filled out. So I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens there because
it doesn't add
I
up.
don't know, man.
From both sides,
a lot of stuff doesn't add up. But he might just be saying, being quiet right now until
he ain't being quiet. That's the thing.
He is about stuff.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I think I was more confused on it after we did the podcast with them than before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, your podcast made me confused, especially just popping off some stuff when he said "if I," and I'm like, and then there's a couple other things. I was just like, "Whoa, dude!" Like I was believing you, and then you said that, and I'm kind of like,
"Well, I mean, that's."
And like I said, I hope he's innocent for his sake. I do. I hope
he is for the deer.
And all the haters, he gets the right out of it. But if he's not, then it takes a lot to sit in front of people and lie like that.
I told him, you're the worst narcissist that's ever existed.
Yeah,
or you're completely innocent. Like, that's it's one or the other. It's one, and we're gonna find out.
I don't know. I don't want to jump into it and then make anyone upset.
It's okay, dude.
That's the fun of it. That's the internet, dude.
I don't know. In this,
you just now triggered someone saying you don't want to trigger somebody. Now someone's going to comment and be like, "That's the problem with this generation. They don't want to speak their mind. Everyone wants to get offended about everything. F them." America.
Well, he was very adamant.
No profile picture.
Dad was a
detective
investigator. Yeah, and I was like, why are you saying that? Like, I know how to get around it, or I know I need to be quiet until it comes out. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of right on the fence stuff that was said that I was just like, man, this still doesn't tell me yes.
That's why I want to know so bad, is because of the podcast made me want them to like prosecute it right now, so I can know. Okay, we got a few of these.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
How long did he say that the DNR until he came out to go see where the deer died was?
It was like 4 or 5 days later.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what confused me. He said he dipped his. Oh, we got a guest. He said he dipped his finger in the blood.
Where the deer
on
died.
His finger and said that looks like blood. I've never seen blood be wet after 4 days.
Never been to Ohio, dude. It's a magical place.
Yeah. Anyways,
big body.
So I hope if he's innocent, he's proven innocent, and if he's guilty, off with his head. Just kidding.
Hunter Simmons said thoughts on Ohio hunting. I didn't buy a tag, so I couldn't tell you. But
it looks fun.
Looks awesome.
Based off the YouTube videos I watch, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks great. Wish I had more time, and it wasn't late season when I went up there. This is a good one. Connor Schwab said, "What's next if Kansas doesn't work out again and you don't draw any new states planned as backup or sticking to Oklahoma?" This is an interesting one.
We were talking about this the other day. Yeah. I forget what we agreed on, whether that be Missouri or Nebraska or something like that. But I think Missouri.
About the NE.
You love NE?
Really fun.
No, bro. No.
Taylor loves Nebraska.
I'm the only one that's came back with something out of that state. And I still won't go back.
You're the problem, dude. Shooting those young bucks in Nebraska. That's the reason there's none left.
I thought we talked if nothing happens and we're gonna go take HA versus OD in Arkansas or Missouri.
Oh, I'm in for that.
I mean, Arkansas, y'all get your asses whipped, but that's just my opinion.
You don't want that mountain smoke, son. You guys don't want that mountain smoke.
Y'all be looking up, be like, "Where's the beans? Where's the wheat?
Where's the acorns? Where's the acorns?"
Sheesh.
You don't have to be nice to me, Taylor. Okay, I can take it. I promise.
We talked about Illinois too. Illinois as well.
Some guy. Oh my gosh. Someone said, "What part of Oklahoma y'all from?" on mine,
We're
And
South
then the next
Kansas.
guy followed with, is Carroll gay?
I don't know, dude. We've been trying to find out for 26 years.
That's to be determined.
You're gonna have to ask him. Take him out on a date, and you'll find out.
I'm from Central Oklahoma. For whoever asked that, Tegan
Northeast.
Nelson.
Yeah, Keegan. Colton Hurley said, thoughts on Ultra Arrows and just the massive explosion in popularity of them. I believe that is the brand that Levi Morgan is shooting now. I believe they're a new archery brand.
I didn't know there's anything besides Golden Tip. So,
is that what you shoot out of your cross gun?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, that's the new brand that Levi Morgan is shooting. I have no idea. I to be honest with you, I don't know anything about them.
So I couldn't tell you.
I mean, I would use an Exodus NIS or MMT, but that's just me.
And while they do so, maybe HA 15 for a discount code, get
15% off. Some would say.
It's whatever.
That's it. We delivered our followers.
I'll take 25% credit for one of those bucks. Christian, rebuttal.
If you get, let me paint a picture for you. If you go on a hunt on a buddy's place with another friend, and they set up the decoy for you, and they drive you out to the spot, and you shoot a 140-inch buck, is that any credit of your own? I would say no. So, thank you, Micah. Thank you for letting me hunt. That was literally, he set up the decoy for me that I shot that buck over. It was his decoy.
So what'd you do? Did you put your sticks on the tree too?
Micah, if you let me hunt, I'll at least give you like 49.9%. So
I'll give you 99%, baby. You can come over and look at him on the wall too. But no, Micah, he got in the stand with me, and when I pulled back, he hit the trigger on my release and got him.
That's all.
That's all she wrote. In the woods said great week in North Central Ohio is the first week in November. I think that's a good week everywhere. In my opinion, we've had really good weeks, and I mean, depending on the weather.
How's the pressure? How's like the which Ohio is over the counter, correct? You don't have to draw for that.
Yep.
I wonder how the pressure is there versus like early season and late season. Would it be like another Kansas? You know what I mean? Because Kansas is a limited draw, and during the first 2 to 3 weeks of November, it was pretty like hammered. What are you laughing about, Taylor?
The guy called back said, "We all know the answer about Carroll."
So
awesome.
That would be my thing. If this guy is like an out-of-stater or something, I think since our expedition last time we went to like Kansas, I would much rather hunt it like early or late season.
Yeah, first week in November on public land anywhere, I feel like is getting pretty hammered. That's just your competition. So I'm sure it is. And you could definitely scratch one out on public, but I don't know. Ohio, I'm sure it's the same. Like we saw
I had a good buck come out when we were at the first spot we went, not the more eastern spot. You know what I'm talking about, Christian?
Mm-hmm.
When we were there, I walked past 3 headlamps climbing trees, and I seen a really good 7-point, like heavy. And I mean, he was on a doe, and that's what you get. But the thing is like, I mean, like I said, I walked past 3 other people like hanging their stands that morning, and it was only like 2 strips of timber on that property.
Dude, that reminded me. Carroll hunted this big draw next to a wheat field, big wooded draw, and he had saw like 35 deer one evening. And he's like, "Hey, you should go to the other side of this wheat field because it's like a 40-acre wheat field." So I walk my happy butt all the way to the other side. I'm huffing and puffing. It's early November, and I am sweating. And I'm about to get in my stand, but there's thick trees everywhere, and I don't know where I'm going to hang. And I sit down for a second, and I'm literally going, and I hear, "Hey, you going to sit right there out of a tree?" and I was like, "Huh?" And I turned around. There was a guy that had walked through the whole bedding area with the complete wrong wind, and he was criticizing me. And I was like, "No, sorry, I'll move on." And he goes, "I think you should." That little comment right there made me want to get in the tree next to him because he said, "I think you should." Kind of like you're an idiot. But that was the first week in November public land story.
My favorite videos I've ever received in Snap were the power walkers you're sending me.
Which
The
ones?
people that are hiking, all the people that are hiking right next to you when you're in Kansas.
Oh my gosh.
They were just
Yeah.
getting it with their arms, dude.
That was so annoying. What sucks about that spot where all the hikers came in on me is I saw like 3 deer that morning. And I had a buck run by me and I was like, this is going to be awesome. So then I heard another one and I was like, here we go. Looked
Wasn't
up.
that on a hiking trail though?
There technically was a hiking trail there, yeah. But it was 2 miles from the nearest parking spot. I guess November is a great
Hey,
time.
when
to
you
take a
first
hike.
heard them, were you thinking like some deer were coming, getting excited?
Oh yeah. I thought here comes a really nice buck because I just already had a buck run by. It wasn't. It was like what sucks is one of them walked by me and they turned around and came back again. I was like, please leave. Like, give me a
Did they even
give me a
see you?
chance. No, no. Should have shot an arrow between their legs. That'd have been hilarious.
Turn around, look up in a tree, and they see News on 6 up there with like camera gear, and they're just
I'm
like, "Oh my
filming 'em.
god!"
Here's a good one. This is the question that Taylor was wanting to pop up. Somebody else read this one out loud for the audience, not in your head.
This is Jake's turn. I read the other one.
Oh, Mark St. Martin II. Random topic for discussion. Wisconsin hunter here. Do you consider a buck mature once he grows outside his ears? Basically 2.5 to 3.5, or do you judge it by body size or anything else? What's your thought, Christy?
I don't think a buck, 2.5 or 3.5 is mature anywhere
Mm-mm.
in the country. But if you're hunting a place like Wisconsin or other places that shoot a lot of, I know Wisconsin has like over 1 million deer hunters, I think. Getting a deer to 3 years old might feel like it's mature, but
Yeah, that's some cheeseheads that stole our deer in Nebraska.
they were from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't Mark though. Mark St. Martin III
Yeah,
didn't do that.
Mark's probably the cool
Second.
one.
The second, sorry,
But the
No,
third
that-
might have done it.
the third might have done it. Might have his grandson or his son. No, that's not a mature buck. But there's a lot of places in the country, like Michigan, would be another one that a buck being 4.5, you might as well be 10 in those areas.
Well, I'm pretty
Or
sure
Jake's.
Wisconsin has the highest Boone and Crockett ratio within the states, or the highest, I should say. They have more Boone and Crockett deer entered each year than any other state.
I mean, I'm sure that they're. If you look at locationally where Wisconsin is, that's a really good spot to hunt. Like, there's real fertile soils, big bucks, but I just think they have so many hunters. Like, I think that's the issue. Taylor, what do you judge a buck by? Body size or anything else? How do you judge a maturity on a buck?
Body, the build of the body, where the neck ties in to the brisket, what the legs look like, stuff like that. I mean, you can't judge it by the horns.
Do you think?
Yeah, you can. I do it all the time.
Do you think that a buck, you can judge one? Let's say a random buck shows up. Do you think it's fair to judge a buck's maturity, that him just showing up for the first time, you've never seen him before, like to an exact year? Because one of the easiest ways is to see a buck year after year after year, right, with the same antler
Absolutely.
characteristics. But when a buck shows up randomly, how do you know he's mature? You just like, hey, he's over 4.5, or are you saying I think he's 5.5, 6.5, 7?
I try to wait till he's 5.5 before I shoot. I don't think maybe 1 or 2 deer I've shot maybe that were 4.5, but that was when I was way younger. But no, I kind of look at their back. You kind of tell the way they act. A lot of mature deer don't just come running in. They're kind of more cautious in the areas they've been. Like I said, neck. You guys look at their structure. You look at the sway back. You got to look where the neck ties into the chest. If there's a fine line, then they're younger. If there's not, and you can't tell the difference between brisket or neck, they're usually older. Now, when it gets middle of rut, that kind of gets questionable. But I don't know. I just sit there and study, and if I think they're 5.5, and then kapow.
Yeah. Well,
Or
we started using I started using the Cementum annuli aging, and I sent off a buck the one I shot opening day, and it was not a very big bodied deer, but it came back 5.5. A lot of folks would not think that was a 5.5-year-old buck. So
my neighbors got mad. I was darting them and opening their mouth and looking at their teeth before I shot them. I guess that's frowned upon.
Yeah, it's messed up in the hunting community. You can't be doing that. Here's a good one from Micah. Micah said, "Are you guys ready to get spanked at tag again?"
I'm taking my crossbow.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that got to shoot at the caribou, if I remember right.
That's true.
Is that because you guys ran out of arrows, or is that like?
Yeah, we were all out. We gave Jake our last arrows to shoot.
Yeah, and their last $5 bill, baby.
We did like 3 competition videos at TAC, and Micah won, dude. He's just lucky. He's just a lucky guy.
You want to talk about lucky? Christian hit a turkey in the head to like keep him in it, and I
At
was
50.
like, okay,
At 50 yards.
Is that the one
That
you
was
guys
skill.
are calling the shots?
yeah,
That was
like
the random
the
number.
random generator, generator.
Yeah, that was a fun video.
Generizer. Hey,
Yeah.
Chris, you gotta make fun of him. He said something wrong. and I said
Generizer bunny.
Hey, I'll eat that. Okay, I don't care. I told you, dude. My vocabulary is of a 6th grader,
mine is too most of the time.
and you see my handwriting; it hadn't changed since 3rd grade. So,
Oh, that's awesome. Here we go. Hank Brady said, I'm of the understanding that piebald genetics are bad for the herd. Am I correct?
I don't think
Ja-
so.
Jake, you're
I
the only
think
one here with a biology degree.
They're bad for the animal.
Why?
Because there's
Piebalds
no
are?
chance they're making it by me.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying.
So
I
that's
forget
what
how rare they are. It's like one in, I think, a few million, to be honest. What a piebald is.
I wonder if it's because he hears that it's called a genetic mutation. If that's why he thinks it's bad.
I
mean,
don't know.
It's bad because I don't know if it's bad, but the one piebald is going to be easier to spot than if there's one piebald and 50 normal deer, it's going to be easy to spot by prey. Versus, I don't know. I don't know if it's bad genetics though.
That is true because there was a I forget where it was at, but there was a picture floating around Facebook of a polar bear that somehow got spray painted, and it said like T24 or something like that. Just some sort of numbers, and the people were talking how that polar bear is probably going to die if the paint doesn't wash off on it, just because that's how basically polar bears eat, is they stock up on their prey. And if they can see that from a long distance, because obviously where they're at is all white, and polar bears literally are smart enough to like cover up their nose, and so they're all white. I don't know. Taking that back to deer, I would think that it'd be a little bit of a disadvantage, but then again, it's not like deer are that hard to spot anyways.
But also, I've never seen a big piebald or a big. Another guy posted on here. I've always heard albino is bad, but never piebald. But I've never really seen the genetics of one get big. You know what I mean?
I've seen like 150-inch piebald, and it was like that's like a unicorn. A big piebald, you usually see people. Do you think they don't get big though because they're so rare that people shoot them when they're small? That they shoot them when they're young.
There's a story about those albino deer that people have passed.
I don't know. We had a piebald.
They never got big, so I don't know.
We had a piebald this year that we called him Snow White because his legs were white. Everything else was brown, but his legs were just white. Yeah, our buddy Jer shot him, so he's no longer with us.
I'm trying to find the ratio or the percentage. All it says is
it sounded bad. Is the piebald not with you, or is your buddy not with you?
What?
The piebald.
You said our buddy shot him, but he's no longer with us.
Oh, the buddy's not with us. Yeah, he shouldn't have shot that deer. That's messed up.
It just says less than 2% of the.
It was like 1 in 100,000 something, Jake. I think it was something really, really, really low. Okay, here's an interesting one. In the Woods said that's crazy.
Hey, okay, I just read right here. Sorry, it is bad because they have. I'm not going to read this word, but they have issues. It's poor survival for fawns.
Why is that? Like,
it's
because the fawns have piebald, or just because it's like a sterilization thing?
I don't know how to say this word, and the way it looks, kind of looks like it's embarrassing to say.
Say it.
Hold it up. Or type it in the chat or something.
Genital. Congenital.
Yeah, congenital.
Sounds good to me.
Isn't your lady in the healthcare field, dude? She would be so disappointed.
Yeah, she's making bread over there.
Yeah, I don't know. I guarantee if a piebald walked by me, it'd be over.
They have issues that predispose the animal for poor survival of fawn. So yeah, so if it's a white fawn laying there, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb to the coyotes. Is basically what it's saying.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Because a fawn, all it has, the only chance a fawn has to survive is like the stay still method, where they're like,
yeah.
That's why. Have you ever mowed hay and then you walk up on one, they're like, he doesn't see me, and you're like, I see you.
So
it's
about that. The fawns actually like slow their heart rate down. That way, I don't know what it does, but whether it makes them stay more still or what it may be, but they actually slow their heart rate down to like, I forget how many beats per minute, but it's super slow. That way the coyote or whatever, if they get super close, they can't hear that, or it starts shaking. Whites are cool, awesome. Dude. Yeah.
But still, is that a bad genetic?
I mean, I think unless there's some underlying cause, I think the only like disadvantage would be just the coloration aspect of it.
That, and I don't know if I've ever seen a big one. You know what I mean? Like you don't see, which they're rare. So you know what I mean? I don't know if they don't get as big or if it's because we don't get to see them.
So where we hunt on public, there's quite a bit of land, and I think we only got a picture of one piebald, and we run probably 20, 25 SD cameras a year on that sucker, and like multiple places. So I think they're pretty rare. Granted, like I think the deer density is significantly lower in that part of the state than normal, but I don't know.
Did you guys see that miniature one that guy shot?
Dude, that was awesome.
2 foot or 3 foot tall. That was cool. Easy pack out.
Easy full body mount, dude. I would mount the crap out of it. I would just like take it, and then when guests came over, I would just take it out of my room and be like, check this out, and I'd walk it in there and sit it down.
Would they call that like a dwarf deer or dwarven deer?
Yeah, dwarfism.
And he had a piebald.
Oh, really?
Dwarf piebald.
Was he not?
Yeah,
I don't even know the rarity of that crap, dude.
That's probably one in millions. I've never even seen a dwarf deer or heard of one.
I have.
That have spots on them still?
There's a couple around Pawnee that people have seen, and we've seen them.
Really?
Yeah. One of them eats it. So we have one of those little corn things where you can fill up like buckets or your barrels in town.
Yeah, feeders.
What?
Just kidding.
Well, no, you know what I'm talking, like the dispensers. Have you ever seen those where you slide your card and you can say you're getting a bucket or a 50-gallon barrel or?
We don't have those here, no, but we know what you're talking about.
So they leave a big mess. They spew everywhere. Well, those deer would be down there eating at night under the street light at like 2 a.m. and stuff. And then my friend who's a vet, she had a pair they were so small they could walk under their trampoline, and they'd bed down during the summer and go under the trampoline and bed down because it gave them shade.
Any bucks or just does?
Yeah, there was a buck. He's a little 8-point.
Oh my!
Remember, I told you this, Christian, because I said I had that 8-point on me this year that shows the body of a mature deer, but he's tiny. He's the only deer. Like all my deer when they come in, where's my hand? They can eat like flat necked, like they kind of got bend their neck. He came up and was as straight up as he could be, and was face level with my feeder. Remember, I sent you those pictures, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And his body was way smaller, but everything on his body showed that he was an old deer. So
that's pretty awesome.
I think some runs over there.
Let's check this one out. In the Woods said, that's crazy. Old Tim Wells dropped a grizzly shot in the forehead with a bow. Did you see that? Have you seen that video?
Yeah, Tim Wells is unreal.
Do you think he meant to shoot that grizzly in the head?
I don't know, but
I think he just let it rip and it just happened to hit in the head.
That guy is unreal.
Shooting ducks out of the air and all that stuff.
He was in the stock tank and shot that ram.
Dude, have you seen the monkey videos?
Yeah, the baboons. And that one like screams and like tries to take it out and runs off. Those things are mean. They're eating the oranges.
Well, there was the one where he's like in the water tank and he's like under the
That's
water.
In the rams.
Oh yeah, he shot the ram with the blow dart gun too, right?
Yeah, in the water. That dude's cool. Built different.
I wish I was like that, man. Here's an interesting one about a shot. Mark St. Mark St. Martin II said shot. He kicked, mule kick and everything. We tracked him for 300 yards and poof, disappeared like an alien. Picked him up, ruined my season, but good lesson learned. Aimed 2 inches higher than where I think I hit directly under his heart. There's a small gap there. I have done that on a doe before, where I've shot him really, really low and opened him up like a can opener.
Also, how long did you give after the shot? That's another thing. Could you have jumped him?
Directly under his heart, there's a small gap there. Is he talking about the void? I know he is.
No, he said he shot a buck, tracked him for 300 yards, didn't end up finding, but it run to season. Good lesson learned. So I've had a doe like that before. Can opened her, and I can tell you that she went and bedded down, and I walked up and shot her again. So I don't know.
My mom's
it's hard.
In your comments.
She's in there. Oh,
Get that old senile lady out of here.
Taller. Hello from your mom. There you go.
The most precious lady there is, people.
My mom is a saint.
If it tells you, she's taught for like 30-something years and could have retired when I graduated in 14. And she's still stuck with it. So that alone.
What a savage.
That's why I'm like I am. I really had horrible teachers.
Here's a good one, Jake. What kind of resume? Cooper Hill says, what kind of resume does a guy got to have to make it on the famous HA crew? A little sarcasm?
So Coop was supposed to come on before or after Christmas talking about late season hunting because, I mean, you want to talk about a buzzer beater, man. That's your guy. He killed one, I think the 13th or 14th.
On public land with a bow.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were supposed to get him on, but I'm going to publicly apologize. We haven't did that yet. So
what the heck? We could do that one in person.
Oh yeah, Tack. That'd be cool.
We could totally do that one in person.
Brock Hill looks familiar. Or Cooper Hill. Just making up names now.
Brock Hills was my roommate in college. Cooper's, that's Peyton's brother.
Has he been in any of y'all's videos?
He might have helped us drug out a couple deer, but other than that, I mean, he did. Really, I'm just kidding.
He's on they have their own YouTube channel, Public Land Pretenders. They have some.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's where it's from. They're from Stillwater area.
Newly McSpadden, the guy.
Yeah, and then their buddy Josh Carson is one of my old friends from Perry, and he works.
So, do you know Newly, Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the video of Christian trying to take down Newly? I'll send it to you. That's
a good video.
Taylor, are you going to come to TAC this year? Yes or no?
He's scared.
Yes or no?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes or no? Yes?
Maybe.
Why?
Come on.
Why what?
Please come with us.
Why don't you want to go shoot and have fun? It's a good time.
Because you guys will make fun of my crossbow.
Have you seen me draw back a bow?
Just kidding. How about what?
Have you ever seen me draw back a bow?
No.
I look like my wife pulling back a bow because I need to lower the draw weight. But I'm like, I don't do that sexy one. I'm like,
you're not Chris B.
And then I'm good. No.
Chris B has that sexy over the armness.
Yeah. See, I wish I had that. So we were at the ATA show.
Yep, got I shot hit a penny.
Who's that? Oh yeah, Chris.
Chris B. No. He's unreal.
But I forget the name of the bows. Expedition.
Yep.
Is that right?
Expedition.
They had a bow. So I shoot 74 pounds right now on a Matthews V3, and they had, I don't know the model of it or whatever, but they had an Expedition bow that was 70 pounds. And that thing was like pulling back 60. It was stupid.
And it was also made of Magnite. It was awesome.
Oh, it was super light. It was super, super light. I don't know. It definitely got my attention. And I was like, well.
Here we go. In the Woods said, if he's innocent, I'd be having a lawyer tell them either give me my buck back or charge me. I don't think the government cares what you... Like, I
mean, if he's innocent, he's going to get his buck back. If he's innocent, he's going to go at him with the lawsuit. There's no way around it. He is.
That's the thing, though. Is the government going to let him be innocent? I mean, there's people on death row right now that's innocent. I mean, that's just a fact. So what's a
That's
deer?
what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
In the situation I feel like he's in, even if he's not innocent, he can fight. He is, and I don't know. It's just weird that they didn't take any pictures, just like the stuff he said, but I don't know. They're making a big case over something that shouldn't be made in a case if he's not innocent. Or if he is innocent. Sorry.
This is off topic. Coop, are you going? If you're still listening, are you going to Tacker now?
He asked that question like 20
He
minutes
answered.
ago.
He said no. I heard him.
Oh, really? Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Here's a good one. In the Woods said, Ohio here. If you go hunting, Ohio, go before gun season. Always Monday after Thanksgiving. Yeah, going before gun season is always a good idea, I think.
Yeah, including Nebraska.
Yeah.
Dude, that place gets rocked.
Dude, when we went,
the amount of doe urine cans when we were 5 to 6 miles back, we found I could have paid for my whole trip if I wanted to bring them all out and go recycle them. It was insane.
It gets hammered.
How many different states have you hunted, Taylor?
2.
Just Oklahoma and Nebraska?
Shooting 100% too. Try not to break it.
Yeah, that's why he can't go try a new state. He didn't want to break it.
Have you been putting in for Kansas at all? Or
yeah. Actually, Christian said this year that he wanted me to go instead of you. So I don't know if he's told you that.
I mean, that's fine. I'll save my $400.
The next 400. It's like 600 something.
550. I'm sorry.
No, we put in for Kansas last year. Our money got pulled, but then so we thought we drew out, but then we got it refunded. So I don't know what happened. But I guess that happened to a lot of people. Should be able to go to Colorado this year, but that will be with a muzzleloader rifle. So.
No, I definitely want to put in for Kansas, but I don't know. I think we're going to put in, or at least try for the more northern units, but just how, at least where I live, so close to the border, I'm like, it'd be super nice to get one of those units or just right over the line.
But even if it's on the northern border, it's really not that far. Kansas doesn't take that long to get through.
No. I don't know.
It's boring to get through, but it doesn't take long to get through.
There's a lot of weehaws too. You get north and west. Actually, there's a lot of weehaws all over. About half of them are cattle pasture. But
yeah,
Kansas does a pretty good job.
You hit Saline and turn towards Colorado. Yeah, it's the most boring drive you've ever seen.
Oh, dude, it's right. Because you get into that eastern part of Colorado, and it's another 3 hours of not crap until you hit the mountains.
You get excited. You're like, ooh, I see movements. It's a tumbleweed going across the pasture.
Yeah. Here we go. Got another one. Native Hunter. Nice. That's a nice hammerhead shark on his profile picture. Said, did you ever get a doe shot at MCAP? No, I did not get a doe shot. On the last day, I had a group of 4 does come in. And I had those public land straps, they have the J hooks for hanging stuff on, basically so you don't have to drill into the tree. I had my recurve hanging on one of those, and it got like stuck in between my string and the riser, or just the string and the limb. That's what it is. String and the limb. And I went to pull it up, and it like popped and hit my backpack and was like ding, and 4 does sprinted off. So that was my chance.
We sprinted off 15 yards.
What'd you say, Taylor?
I said, will you get up and show us a little demonstration of how they ran off real quick, please?
No.
Do it for the people.
It was violent. I can tell you that.
Do it for the vine.
All right. Coop said yes, he's going to TAC. He said another night shoot.
Hey, you got me in the first half, but this year I want to come back better, and that's all I'm saying.
Do you remember at the night shoot when
I don't remember. I don't remember anything from that night. Thank you.
I don't know who it was that missed, but somebody missed and it like flew into the other valley in the lighted knock. And we were like, oh shoot, let's go inside. Everybody sprinted back and started putting their bows in the truck.
That was fun though, dude. I think I brought up TAC I probably 15 times to Abby since just this year's began. I'm so excited.
TAC is a fun time. You should come, Taylor.
It's great.
Bolts are accepted, dude. We might be able to get you hooked up with some Exodus bolts for you to go.
He could shoot the little ballista crossbow. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we also have a pistol crossbow. It only has a 25-yard sight, so you'll have to kind of guess anything past that.
Oh, that's easy. 80. Okay.
Aim at the horizon. No,
So
that's gonna be fun. Definitely down for another night shoot though.
yeah, that would be really fun. I'm excited for TAC already. That's going to be an experience.
Hey, hold on. Is who did Coop go with last year? It was obviously Newly and Aaron, and then John. Was Jonathan there?
Jonathan was there. Yep.
Okay.
And all
I
their
don't know
ladies.
if that's too many people to have a competition or not, but we should at least attempt to shoot one together. That'd be cool. Like Prime or something, one of the smaller courses.
Yeah, it'd be fun to dominate Coop and their whole crew.
See, that's what I'm saying. Just to
Okay,
kind of put them in their place for a second.
we both missed, and we're like, Taylor, pull it out with your crossbow. Come on, buddy. We need help.
I got this, boys. Shaking.
It's like a golf scramble. You can play just like that. Best ball.
I don't even own it. Oh, I lied. I do own a crossbow. But...
In the Woods said he's talking about age in a buck, I think. Front shoulders being bigger than rear, mass on rack.
Yeah, but a lot of places don't get a lot of mass on rack, so you can't judge that everywhere.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think mass.
My dog smelt your BS, Christian.
I don't think mass is a characteristic I see on a ton, like exceptional mass, like average. I don't see a ton of mass in a lot of the bucks we hunt.
Yeah,
that's why I go to Kansas is for like a baseball bat. Like
not even that. The freaking body size and the neck and the freaking head up there is unreal.
That is true. I remember we were there in September, and it looked like there was a cow print in there, and it happened to be a deer track. And I was like, this is completely different. And we're only like 4 hours away.
I was hunting right next to the border one time in Oklahoma side, and we're probably about a mile off, maybe 2 miles. And the does up there that came out. I mean, the does are walking through the timber, and I'm telling my buddy, I'm like, dude, get ready. Has to be a pretty nice buck, hitting him. We're getting ready. I'm turning around, getting the film on him. And it's 4 does come out. And I'm like, holy cow, if that's the does.
Yeah, the bucks.
Yeah,
that just seeing deer. Seeing deer is awesome.
It keeps the morale up when you're like,
it does.
Oh, I didn't see any bucks tonight, but there was 14 deer on this field.
How many did you see? 17.
Unless you're Carol. That hunt sucked.
Yeah.
I sat in the beans, dude.
Exactly.
I swear it wasn't me. They didn't see me.
I didn't move a muscle.
My favorite's when you said,
love it.
Like, my hunt sucked. What, you saw the big deer? I know, but I didn't get to shoot it.
Yeah, but he wasn't a shooter. He saw like $6 one hunt. He's like, not a single shooter. I'm like, well, you could have been worse. Here we go.
Mark St. Martin II. Once again, hunting pressure is for real. I've had people next to me shoot spikes or nub bucks before. 3-year-old is definitely mature here. If he gets to 4 years old, he's close to maxed out. I mean, I agree. And Taylor, you're not going to agree with this, but if you're around a spot that you only have bucks getting to the age class of like 3 or 4, yeah, you might have some that like slip up and somehow make it to 5, 6 maturity. But honestly, anything, at least where I hunt, that's like 4 and up, like I classify as mature.
4.5 is a mature buck though. Anywhere. I mean, it is like, and that's it. It's not as mature as you're gonna get, but that is a mature. That is a mature buck. Mm-hmm. If everyone shot 4.5-year-olds, I would be very happy because they don't.
There's a study, and I forget who it was by or whatever, but it said that whitetail deer hold 95, or they have 95% of their antler potential at the ages 5.5. And
it's
so
4.5.
It's 5.5.
It's an NDA article.
It's 5.5.
I'm telling you, it's not.
I made a TikTok on it like last year, so I know.
And then there's a big chance they can even grow more from 5.5 to 6.5.
Yeah, but I think at that point it's like 50-50.
Yeah, and then sometimes they just don't. And then there's crazy. It's like when they get to 6.5, what they can do from 6.5 to 7.5 is like they'll throw some character. It's pretty cool. Deer are cool.
I'm literally Googling it.
Jake is cool.
Hold on.
There's it's gonna be on the Deer Association's website. Yeah, antler growth bell curve is what it's talking about. Here it is. What is the bell curve?
You can go ahead and share your screen if you want.
I'm trying to find the actual
Yeah,
chart.
he's trying to find the one that says 4.5.
It's the chart. I remember the chart, and it goes 4, 5.5, and then 6, and then the 5.5 and 6 were basically the same, and it basically plateaus.
Hey, a notch said Jake is not cool.
Oops.
Okay, listen here, Brandon. Okay, meet me outside. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
I'm having trouble finding it. I know it's on NDA's website because I talked with Lindsey Thomas Jr. and he was.
I'll find it for you, sir.
Okay, find it and share it. He was talking about how after 5.5, a buck has just a high likelihood of going up in rack as it is down. So after 5.5,
50-50.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 shot. They can get bigger, they can get smaller. Obviously, the bucks that are the biggest are going to be the ones that, get lucky and roll the dice and get bigger year after year, but not all are like that.
I mean, a good example would be Coop had a picture of him as well. The kickstand buck.
Yeah, he's significantly smaller.
Yeah, but that deer, later we found out he was actually like 7, and then he got smaller. Or was it
out
the
at like
7th
6?
year?
University of Tennessee says bucks reach peak antler size between 5 and 7 years of age.
University of Tennessee, dude.
I'm a genius.
You gotta cite a real source.
Go Vols.
I can't find it. Anyways,
Taylor, I want to ask you something. So, and you hunt private on and the surrounding area is pretty well managed, I would assume, just because you say you would pass 5.5-year-olds and stuff like that.
Not really.
So,
I got people. Well, let me just say this: I got neighbors across the door that would shoot some of the deer that daylighted easily that weren't 5.5 this year, and I took the risk, and one of them didn't make it, but the other 3 did.
I get you. Well, that really wasn't my point, but I guess what I was trying to get at is, do you rattle or grunt or anything like that? Because I feel like.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. I was just going to say that. Again, I just hear you talking about, you passing the big deer or the lower age class, higher score wise deer. And so, yeah, I just didn't know with that management style, if you rattled or did anything like that. If you felt comfortable passing, I would feel like the deer would, be more comfortable rather than a person who doesn't feel comfortable passing something. I don't know. Property dependent. I feel like your property's better. Do you rattle? That's my question.
Do I rattle? Yes, I rattle some. Hasn't worked. I've rattled some in, but I've yet to rattle one and shoot it in. So like that deer, that one that Christian was talking about a little bit ago that had the big eye guards, he came in and was 90 yards, and he was sitting in that timber, and I snort wheezed at him and grunted a few times. He just bedded down with that doe and just laid there until it got dark. And I've had numerous times that deer came in, and I didn't start rattling right as I seen them, but I let them kind of get out of the way and kind of get up in the timber and rattle, and man, they would come back. So I also have another deer. You remember that deer that 2 years ago? I just shot my biggest, or 3 seasons ago. I just shot my biggest buck to date, archery wise, and it's like 4 or 5 days later. This buck comes out. It was not legal shooting light, so I figured he just kind of meander around a little bit, and I was like 2 minutes, 3 minutes away, and he starts to leave. So I grunt. So he circles behind me. Well, to my right, I have some trees and some timber. He walks up the rocks. Like I have some trees and timber. Geez, I have some rocks and some timber, like some big boulders right over there. And he climbed up those rocks and walked behind me, made a scrape. And from the angle I had him, I thought I could, or the angle of my camera, it looks like I could shoot him. But when I was standing on my camera, there's a couple branches in the way. Well, he went through one shooting lane, and I did the hay, and he didn't do anything. He went and made that scrape. He went through my second shooting lane. I hollered "hey" louder. Nothing. When he went through my third one, I hollered. He was 25 yards away, and I screamed it. Hey! And he just kept walking with his head up. And when he got out of that lane, he snort wheezed and walked up, and I never saw him again. I have that on video. I showed you that one, Christian, didn't I?
Video, it didn't
That
happen.
was the first year we started talking.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I can't find the Tic Tac.
Dude,
I've been looking for it this whole time,
I used to be able to find that chart like first time I looked for it. I don't know where the heck that article is.
but I promise you it's 5.5.
That's fine. You can promise, but I mean, you're right.
Promise can be broken.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one. This one's a good one for Taylor. Honest opinion. You listened to the full podcast, Taylor. I think you did.
I don't
Honest
know.
opinion. Did CJ do it?
I'm riding on the fence like he is. So he just said some weird stuff that made me question it. There's some stuff going on that makes me question the side to prove that he did it. So, I mean, there's both sides have some iffy situations going on that I wish people would clear up.
Jake?
I mean,
we have a 2-hour podcast. If you want to hear our
yeah, I was
opinions
about to say. Long story short, I don't know. I really want the DNR to like come out with a statement, saying, which I understand it's a. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no, you finish this. Finish this topic. Sorry.
I understand it's an ongoing investigation, but I don't know. Like, CJ seems like a genuine guy, 100%. Like, I would sit down with another podcast with him if he wanted. But also, just from like the outside looking in, we've only heard his side, and everybody knows there's three sides of the story. His side, their side, and the truth, or however you want to word it. And so far, all we've heard is his side. We've literally maybe gotten one sentence, maybe 2 sentences from the like an official statement from the DNR. And so far, this whole thing's just been like vocally one-sided. For someone that's under investigation, again, I don't mean any disrespect to CJ because he was a great guy, super nice, said he was a believer and all that stuff. So I don't hold anything against him right now. But we've only heard his side. So that's my only iffy thing about that. And that's why I'm neutral in this, because it's a one-sided thing. So that's where I'll leave it.
I echo the same sentiment.
Okay.
I would love to see a DNR. Like, if the DNR came out and like, well, we got this, and this on him, I'd be like, okay, now I have both sides.
Yeah, you see, that's
but you only have one side. It's like
so as of right now, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I want to, but then there's just some stuff that was said that I was like,
right. But here's what I'll say to this, and I'm not trying to get all defensive on him or whatever, but I'm not the best with words either. Like, I stutter, I stumble on my words and stuff, and I'll listen back to a podcast. I'm like, I can't believe I said that. Like, that's not at all what I meant. And I don't know. That's just how I view things.
That's a lot of pressure to get on a podcast and be like, hey, what's your rebuttal for the biggest investigation in deer hunting right now? And he's like,
yeah, see, I'd be saying a lot of uhs, and they'd be like, see, he's stumbling over his words. I'm like, dude, that's just me.
You never talked to me before.
Yeah,
that's how I speak.
So, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
we will see.
Here's this video of that buck that I told you I couldn't get stopped. It's a video of a video because that kind of is trash.
So this is going to be a video of a video of a video.
Yeah. All right, we'll push play. Listen to how hard. Oh, 25 yards. Did you see it?
Yeah. I just saw a big old body. Go ahead and text that to me. Hey!
That was my last ditch effort. It did not work.
Yeah.
He's like that dummy thought I was going to stop for him.
When he heard that, he's like, get to trucking. Get moving.
He didn't even run. He just walked all the way. I watched him go up the draw. I was like, never saw him again either.
I've got another one. In the Woods said, my daughter hit one too low once. I tracked it for a long ways in the snow. Then she got a whole bunch of tracks and lost it. Yeah. If you hit one really low and you don't hit the heart, there's not a whole lot there. There's not a whole lot of goodies.
I did that with a doe a few years back. I
remember that. Yeah, you got that on video.
Yeah, I didn't know how far it was at the time, and so I just kind of guesstimated, and I shot. And the only reason I hit her is because she ducked into my arrow, and it just hit right there on the white of the belly. I mean, it was good left and right, but just the up and down was horrible. And if she wouldn't have like dropped and spooked, tried to turn away, I wouldn't have hit her. But blood on the arrow looked good and all that. But I don't like, honestly, I don't think I killed her just because of how low it was. There's white hair on the fletchings and stuff like that.
There's
It
really
happens.
not much. There's really not much there if you hit them super low. But you can hit them 3 inches. You saw Mason's buck that he shot this year.
Yeah.
You can hit them 2 inches above the thing and hit it right in the freaking heart.
I
But
don't think I was over towards the heart
Left
enough,
enough.
though. Yeah.
yeah, like towards that leg. You really have to ride that leg up though. Okay, we got this is a funny one from Coop. All right, here's one. Do a backflip said CJ Innocent. Maybe. We will see. Cooper said, always up for a competition. We could do a scramble after the course opens after 1. Oh, yeah, because they all open up after 1. You can shoot
Mhm.
whatever, or even on the practice course. Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be really fun.
We need to come up with something, though, like something unique to make like a bigger twist.
Well, we have Carol, so they don't have the secret weapon of crap
cheat
talk. He
code.
can get
That's true.
he can get in their mind. He didn't have to shoot.
Oh,
You can just get
that
in
is
their mind.
true. Especially that like brotherly bond, dude. Carol, Coop, I'm sorry, you're not hitting the target if Carol starts shit talking.
Dude, he will take it. I'm not kidding you. You want a 1 million view YouTube video? Carol versus Wall in a crap talking contest. The wall will literally just shatter after a few hours of Carol just talking to
Disintegrate.
it. Yeah, it will literally just give up. It will have to. That's our secret weapon, Coop. If you're still watching. Robbie 40. So we had 2 people ask the same question. Robbie 45 said best deer caliber, and then Michael DeStefano said best deer caliber. Taylor, you like to shoot the rifles. What's the best deer caliber?
I like the 243, the 25-06, and the 308. Whichever one's like 308's overkill, but it depends how you load it.
Jake?
I mean, I don't know guns to save my life. The only thing I've taken hunting before is a 30-06 and a 30-30. And yeah, that's about it. 30-30, I shot one in the face. It's my very first deer I've ever shot in my life. And it did the job with the dome shot. But other than that, 30-06, I don't know if it's that like accurate, at least in my hands, because I shot at one of the biggest deer I've ever seen in my life. Shot it twice, didn't hit it, but that was a scope problem.
Yes.
A gun problem.
30-06 is the real deal.
The Indian or the arrow?
Hey, some people's got to carry the firewood, okay?
We needed basket weavers. Like somebody had to. Best deer caliber. I've shot deer with a 22-250, 223, 30-06. I don't know. It's hard to beat a 300 Win Mag. If you want to
Oh
like
my
just take
gosh,
the soul,
that's-
if you want to take the soul,
Any
of a
long
whitetail
action
deer-
is too much for a deer, for a whitetail.
you think so?
Yes.
What do you
Dude,
mean by long action?
Like your 30-06, you got your short action rifles and you got your long action rifles. So
What's a
pretty much
30-06 classified as?
long?
Why is that?
Good question. I don't
It's
know.
too
what-
big for Taylor's little shoulders. He can't take the kick.
Yeah.
Give me my
Dude,
243.
That reminds me. This might not. Okay, this might be why I don't know. I'm kind of shy of guns because I remember. I don't know how old I was. Maybe 8, 9. My dad had a 7mm or 7 mag, whatever it's called.
It was a
7
millimeter,
something.
and it's a beast.
7 something. That thing kicked like a freaking mule, dude. Like, so backstory, I got kicked in the head once when I was like in 7th grade. I got kicked in the head by a horse. That gun kicked harder than that horse did. Like, I swear to God. And my dad lifted me up on the back of the bed, like, and so I was kind of balancing on the truck tire, and I shot, and that thing like blew me off that sucker, and the gun went flying. He caught the gun, not me. Thanks, Dad. But yeah.
Yeah,
I am
I think
fan.
it's anything over like a 308 is basically long action. Is this how long the cartridge is?
Yeah, I get it, dude. You don't have big shoulders. You need to start lifting
I
a little
know.
bit.
Hey, it's not about what you shoot; it's about the placement.
Okay, buddy. That's what
Okay,
everybody
John
uses a
Dudley.
crossbow told me. That's funny.
Everyone's on here gonna really think I use a crossbow.
That's all right.
So, okay, hear me out. Taylor, I want your opinion on this. Are you on the John Dudley side or the Ranch Fairy side?
What do you mean?
He doesn't know who
Okay.
either of those guys are. No, I'm just
I know John Dudley.
So John Dudley is more of a light arrow, doesn't care about a pass through because he hits them where they're supposed to be hit. And Ranch Fairy is the everyday average Joe plan B, where it's like, hey, I'm probably not going to hit it where it's supposed to be hit, but I will get a pass through. I will get 2 holes.
I don't
Would
really
you rather?
I don't really pay attention. If you're asking me, do I pay attention to what my arrow weight is? No.
So,
But I also get pass throughs. So,
okay.
like
he shouldn't have pissed missile.
Yeah.
How many
So
grains do you shoot?
I don't use 100. So when I went to, oh my gosh, what is that brand? The Hunting Public.
QAD.
Hunting Public used them. The Hunting Public used them. They're single bevel
Iron Will.
Gosh, I have them. Anyways, when I use them, I went to 125, but most of the time I just use 100 grain.
And so you're what? Probably 480 grains, 475.
Sure.
He didn't know.
Like I said, I don't really know.
It's hard to get that much weight in a bolt. 480 bolt is really.
You got to pour lead in the bolt.
He tries to stay on the lighter side so he can get that 380 FPS.
It's concrete. Fill the arrow.
I don't really pay attention that much. I used fixed broadheads. I went to that after I tried my time with mechanical broadheads, and
which mechanicals did you shoot?
I shot. Of course, everyone tried at the Rage. I shot G5 Mega Meats. I've shot.
Have you ever tried Grim Reapers before?
Mm-mm.
If you want to go back to Expandables, because if I was to go back to Expandables, that's exactly what I'd shoot. Grim Reaper Whitetail Specials.
I went to the Trophy Taker Shuttle Tees, and man, don't get you much better than what they've been doing here lately.
Is that a fixed blade?
Mm-hmm. They're 3-blade fixed blade. They're a unit, man. My buddy Kyle, he does nothing but archery hunts, bow hunts, whatever. People get mad if I say archery, and some people get mad if I say bow hunt. But he bow hunts only. Triggered. Yeah, people get real triggered. Like, oh, that's that. Anyway, so he started using those, and that guy knows everything when it comes to archery. And he was like telling me, he's like, let's try these. You need to try these. He's like, I've shot deer. They don't even know they're hit. He's like, you watch Hunting Public, and those deer get hit, and they just stand there looking around, and they fall over dead. He's like, try these. And Gunner tried them, and Gunner shot a raccoon, and it just stood there, and then just like took 2 steps and fell over. And he told me about it. Well, finally, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try these, and I shot a public land doe, and I shot her, and she just took like 4 steps and looked around, and I actually knocked another one and shot her, and she still didn't know it hit her, and then she plops over. So it's pretty cool seeing that.
Zips through her or no? Yeah,
they're so sharp. Yeah, it just. Kyle's hit him several times in the shoulder and went bone to bone, and they come out. Which he's using FMJs, and he has the build, but I don't pay attention to it. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. But I'm a guy that if it works for me, it works for me. It's like the saying, if you're on elk, why try to move and go find more elk if you're hunting?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
I get it. I mean, grand scheme of things, I think confidence kills. Like if you have confidence in it, I mean, by all means use it. But I think there is a difference between like a good fixed blade, heavy arrow. And I'm so excited to talk to the Ranch Fairy again because I actually know something about arrows now. Because I don't know, 8 months ago, I didn't even know what my arrow length was or grain of my arrow was or anything like that. And then we talked to like Joel Turner, the Ranch Fairy, and I got like a what do you call that? A crash course on all that stuff because trying to formulate a conversation, it's like I don't know what to ask because I don't know anything about this arrow. And now I feel like I feel like I'm still like the novice level about like knowing about arrows and stuff, but it's just like now that I have this small grasp of it, I don't know. I feel like I can learn more now just based off that.
And that's what I'm actually newer to bow hunting. I started bow hunting probably 5 years ago, maybe. And like I said, I just grew up. My family were rifle hunt, so I just kind of finally was like, after I killed that big muzzleloader buck, I was like, I'm going to go to archery and test myself. And so I don't know much now. Like rifles, I know a lot because I'm very intrigued by what calibers do, and I like to do a lot of predator hunting, so I kind of know. And a lot of my family shoots, so that's just common ground to talk about. So, so that's kind of where I need to grow in my archery hunting is knowing my arrows, and I know what arrows I get. Couldn't tell you my draw length. I know my draw weight's 70. So just stuff like that I know. But other than that, you talk about my arrows, you put me in la la land because I have no idea.
But I feel like that's the majority of bow hunters, to be honest.
90% of people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it is. I mean, and I don't know, man. That's what I'm like saying. It's worked for me. Sometimes like maybe I'm overly confident on my archery hunting, but I've also, I've backed stuff up with what I do. And I'm not saying kill big deer, but I'm saying shot placement and how confident I am of grabbing a bow and shooting. And so and like I said, none of that leads to big deer. I've not shot too many big deer with a bow, but the deer I have shot, they've been found all except for one. And that when I shot that one, I've told you guys this last time, I shot it, felt horrible. And from that day on, I was like, I'm never going through that struggle again. And I know I will. It happens, but I'm trying to eliminate it as a hunter to go through that. So,
it ebbs and flows. But if you really want to mess up your shot sequence and all that stuff, come to TAC.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Come to TAC with us.
Yeah,
we can mess it up.
Like normally, like you can have your own stuff, but I'm telling you, man, those challenges. Sometimes you might only have 3 seconds to draw back and shoot. I mean, that's just the way it is. But you have all summer to fix that.
All right, we got a few more questions here. Ryan Fry said the problem with classifying what's a mature white-tailed deer is you have to take into account hunting pressure, food resources, and the region you're hunting. I agree with the second two, food and resources and the region, but I don't know what hunting pressure has to do with maturity.
I'll vouch for him.
You'll vouch for him?
Yeah, no.
My deal is, what's the problem? He said the problem with classifying.
Oh, okay, like why it's hard to tell what's mature and what's not.
I don't think that's.
Or the problem is if you try to classify them, you don't kill. I don't know what that statement means. It's kind of a broad statement. The problem.
So what I see when he's talking about the hunting pressure is, I'm just going to relate to my situation. Christian, you know my situation. Taylor, you got a glimpse of my hunting situation, but just where you're in a spot where the deer don't get to maturity. Okay. And so maybe that has something to do with it. Now classifying, I mean, if I see a nice 3-year-old on my land, like I know probably it's a relatively young deer, but I mean,
but you would only know that because you've seen a mature buck somewhere else.
That's true.
Like, what if you've never seen a 5-year-old?
That's very true. That's like, okay, so that's like a doe walking out and it being a 1.5-year-old doe that just now lost its spots, and you're like 20 feet up in a stand, and you're like, doesn't have any spots. I know it's a doe. I might try to fling an arrow at it, and then you get down and you pick it up, and it's like 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Versus a whole group of doe come in, and you're like, okay, that's the big one. That's a big doe. Those other two are like a yearling, 2-year-old doe.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, though. Like, if you have hunting pressure and they don't get mature, you won't know what a mature one looks like. Only shoot what's there.
Food resource. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Taylor?
Well, I guess I'm kind of confused. He said that the problem with classifying what's mature white-tailed deer is you have to take into account hunting pressure. I don't see that. I mean, maybe in your situation, yeah. Food resources.
I'm just being a baby.
I mean, they still show character with poor food resources and the region you're hunting. You can, I mean, if you're from that region, you should be able to. But like I said, that kind of, I don't know.
It gets tough.
That stuff does change it. Changes the body, but
well,
I feel like if you're from that area, you get a feel for what your deer.
It changes the ceiling. Like if you're talking about food resource and the regions, Like some regions might not get abundant of water, which leads
Well,
into the
yeah.
foliage and stuff like that. So it leads into
I
like
know a
the
guy that hunts
ceiling height of the antlers.
I know a guy around here that hunts. He probably hunts about 30, 40 miles from me, and they have great food resources, and the body of his deer are always way bigger than the ones I have. Me and him send pictures back and forth. We talk about deer and deer age, and he's always like, "Your deer." He always ages my deer a year younger than his, and I'm like, and in my head, some of these deer I've had for the 5.5 years, and I'm like, and I'm like, dude, you're looking at the body, just the body size. You can't look at that, and so I get it. That is hard, but I mean, it's part of it. I mean,
we got a buddy. His name's Warren Holder from Raised Hunting, and he actually is the one that got Christian on the Cementum annuli or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how a lot of people who think that a deer is 5.5, 6.5, or whatever are actually like a year or two older. Like the people are classifying a year or two older than what they actually are.
yeah, I've heard that too.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Christian started doing it, and like I didn't see Christian's McAllister buck being that old, but then again,
that's not the one that was 5.5. It was the opening day buck.
Oh, you still haven't got that one back yet. Okay, well, damn. Well, long story short, like that whole situation, talking with him, like it kind of made me question, like me being able to tell the maturity of a deer without having consistent yearly pictures of them.
When you look at it, like in Central Texas, you shoot a 105-pound deer buck. That might be a 6-year-old buck.
Mm-hmm.
I took my Oklahoma buck to the processor here, and he weighed like 220 live weight, and I dropped it off, dude. They looked like they were looking at a moose. They were like, "Where the hell did this come from?"
And that's what's crazy though, because if you hunt in Oklahoma, let's say you hunt, I don't know, I don't want to go any locations, but let's say you hunt a spot where it has relatively smaller sized deer. The deer just don't get very big regardless of age, and like fatter, beefy is what I mean. And then you go to hunt out of state, place like Kansas, where you're hunting cows relatively, it seems like. And it's just like you're not going to be able to jump from state to state and know what a mature deer is 24/7.
I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, you still got to look at the body structure. Yeah, they're fatter, but they still have to have the same. They still have to have this big necks. They still have to have that drop back. I mean, your 4.5 deer in Kansas, because it's a bigger body, doesn't mean it's going to show it's a 5.5. There's just a lot of stuff you can look at that even doesn't matter how big they are, their body has to mature into. I mean, it's just like a human. Some of us, when we're younger, we jump up and we look older, but our body, you can just tell by the body that they're a younger person. I mean, I had a kid in my grade that hit puberty in like 5th grade and was an all-star. I mean, we pretty much all of our plays in any sport were give it to him and we won undefeated. Then we get to high school, we catch up with them. Everyone around us caught up with him, and everyone thought he was going to be NBA, NFL, all that. Didn't happen.
Well, it just blows my mind because Christian's uncle, Justin, he shot the deer, scored like 165, and what was he, 6.5, Christian?
Yeah.
That's what the taxidermist aged him at with the old pearly whites, and that deer had the body of a doe. Like if you were to like block your vision from the antlers, it's like, okay, cool, he shot a doe.
And probably weighed 110 pounds, 115
pounds.
Yeah,
it was a 165-pound deer. And it
was that
165 inch.
Yes.
Was that in the mountains?
That was that was a mountain deer.
So I've never really looked at mountain deer, so I can't tell you on that. So
they said my recurve buck was 4.5 on the tooth wear, and I looked at the teeth. I still have them. I would agree on the tooth wear. But the buck weighed 113 pounds field dressed. A 4.5-year-old on
that's what blows my mind.
Is 180 pounds.
It's just
field
different.
Well, see, our deer field dress are 160 at one spot. Some other ones they might be 180.
But you're talking 100-pound difference though from one side of the state to the other. Like that's wild. Like field.
Yeah, but they still show I don't know what the correct word at the moment is, but the attributions or whatever of an
attributes. But the bigger they are, the more defined it is. Like the easier.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
yeah. The bigger they are, but the smaller ones also show stuff.
I think it's.
I mean,
I think it's
even not
a
even
lot
look at the
harder.
body. Look how they act too. I mean, I don't. You give us at 14 years old this podcast, it's going to be annoying.
It's probably annoying now, but
No, it's probably but it's not as bad. You know what I mean? You can tell by stuff, and that's what I'm not saying. I can sit there and look at a deer and be like, he's 7 years old, 3 months and 2 days. Like I no, but I can tell you if he's mature. Like if I say that deer's mature, he needs to shoot him. He's going to be 5.5 or older.
yeah.
And I'll back that up. I'll start getting all my teeth sent out. I mean, I'm not.
I'm not calling you out on
No, I
your
know.
age
I'm
as
just
a deer
saying.
because I know on your property, like on my property where I hunt the majority of the time, I feel like I can, age class deer if I have that age class available. But I'm just saying, like where you don't normally go, where you don't normally see that many deer, maybe low deer density. It's like it's harder because the deer are different from northeast Oklahoma to southeast Oklahoma, completely different specimen. Not as far as a gap as southeast to southwest, but it's just like even in this range, just in one state of Oklahoma. I understand Oklahoma is super diverse compared to like a lot of states, but it's just I don't know. Like I think it's just too far of a gap to like for the average person who really doesn't study the deer, look at the deer 24/7 to be like, okay, hey, that's a 5-year-old, that's a 3-year-old. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't see how someone can't tell the difference between a 3.5-year-old and a 5-year-old.
A lot of people don't see a lot of bucks every year to get to analyze data. They might see $3 a year, and it's like
I don't see a lot of 5.5-year-olds a year.
You got good trail cam picks.
Yeah.
Now does I guarantee you, I got some old does.
I can age it.
I got one, and it was a doe day. It was a special doe day, and I went out there, and it's funny because I text my neighbor to the south of me quite a bit, and he was talking about how he didn't like prefer any doe shot or anything like that, and I was like, well, I'm just going to go out here. I've had the same group of does come through. There's one doe in particular that her hips are almost like skin and bone, but she has a big old belly on her. Every single year, at least for 2, maybe 3 years in a row, she's dropped double fawns. And so like I try to keep her around, and I know exactly who she is just because of her like really withered hips. And of course, I sat in that stand with my 30-06, and she comes strolling out, and I'm like, is that the same doe? I don't know. It only had one little fawn with her, but it was the doe fawn. I was like, I could have swore like earlier in the year she had a little buck fawn, and I know after those buck fawns get a certain age, the mama will run it off just due to the reproduction side of it, where they don't like crossbreed or whatever. And I was like, well, maybe she done ran that little fawn off, but I was like, it seems too early to me at least. And then about 15 minutes later, after that thing was milling around 30 yards from me, I see that little old nub buck come strolling it, and I was like, okay, that's that doe. Thank God I didn't shoot her. But then I don't know, 30 minutes later, I had about 12 more doe filter out, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely taking one of these suckers.
You had 12 come out?
Dude, that night I seen 15 different doe. And I was like, I think one could be shot.
I have my favorite does at my spots, like the ones that were pretty much on a schedule. You guys have any of those? I got some at one of my spots. They're like a family of them comes out, and they're like a lighter gray. And then there's another group of them, 2 or 3. They got the double throat patch, so I can always tell which does are coming in.
That's cool.
And then I have one. She's hilarious. I have her in lots of my videos. Like her only goal when she comes out is to how she can, as fast as she can run, to grab a piece of corn before another one or a buck runs her off. And you'll see her in my video. She'll come wagon wheeling around them as fast as she can, run up, take a couple bites, and just bolt. And it's just hilarious because, I mean, she's just a light gray color. And when she comes in, it's funny because she just acts like nothing's going on. And all of a sudden she's like, oh, game on. I wonder how I can get a piece of corn without getting kicked. The other does are mean to her. I mean, absolutely mean to her.
Well, that's when you shoot the mean does.
Oh, they're my friends.
So we're running up here close to 2 hours. We got a few questions. Let's run through rapid fire these, and then we can wrap. Here we go. Chris Allen says, is it better to take big does or small ones, 80-pound during the Ohio gun season?
Don't they say take bigger ones?
I don't know what they say. I'd shoot
Ohio.
If you're hungry, shoot a big one.
Yeah, you would think an 80-pound doe would be really small.
Yeah,
In
I would think
Ohio.
130, 140 pounder.
I always heard shoot the old nannies.
I like shooting the old nannies. Those are the ones that are
Mhm.
typically the educators in the group.
Mm-hmm. They're
All
the
right.
blowers.
Yeah, Court Water said favorite animal you've ever hunted.
That's my girlfriend's little brother.
Nice.
Favorite animal ever hunted.
Should be asking them, what ring are you getting her? That'd be a better
Ugh.
question for you.
Hey, hit
Facts.
that little thing, Christian. Welcome to the
The Hunter's Advantage.
podcast. My favorite animal, I don't know. I love the whitetail. I've hunted mule deer in Nebraska. I don't know if you call that hunting. I've hunted a lot of turkeys. I don't know. There's just something about a whitetail that gets me going. My goal is to shoot a mature whitetail in as many states as I can before my time here is gone or done.
Mm-hmm. Jake, what do you got?
I mean, obviously, whitetail is God's great creation, but just to kind of have a little bit of diversity here, I love pronghorn. I've only hunted them like twice, but I hold it very, very highly. Or I don't know, there's just something different about maybe it just has to do with the spot and stock aspect of it. But whenever we went, I had a ball. Like it's up there for sure.
Yeah,
What about you?
Awesome. I've hunted mule deer, whitetail, pronghorn, shot a black bear. Probably whitetail out of those four. Probably whitetail. Coop said he's the last person that gets in my mind. I've seen him shoot. You got a point, Coop. That's funny. Zachary said, Hanky Hunt said, happiest moment during this hunting season.
Probably January 15th when at like 6 p.m. whenever it finally ended.
When the sun
that was
went
pretty
down.
good. Yeah, because I was like, okay, this season's over. It can only go up from here.
Taylor, what do you got?
Oh, probably this season is probably when I shot that deer, or my deer. It's kind of unexpected. So
Heck yeah. I think my happiest moment this season was shooting a buck with a recurve.
Oh, yeah. This guy's the one that
Obviously.
has like a million different options.
Let me think. Was it the first buck I shot or the fourth? No, I'm just kidding. No, the recurve buck this year was
Was
awesome.
it the first state I hunted or the third?
Mainly, it was awesome because it was a place I'd never hunted before. It's a 2.5 day hunt with a recurve. Like, yeah, there's a lot of deer in there, but odds are still against you. So being able to pull one out was pretty special. And then last one, Alonzo said you can't always hit them where you aim. Deer move, human error, wind, ranges, angles, etc. I agree with you. You can't.
Yeah,
That's
always
why
hit
you
'em.
shoot. That's why you shoot under Altero.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's why you shoot in practice, because you just try to eliminate what you can.
That's right. Only can do what you can do. Well, cool. We appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoy these bi-weekly live podcasts. It's really fun to get in and just see what people
I like
talk
these.
about. Yeah, these are really, really fun.
These are starting to be my favorite, to be honest. Even though I've only did 1.5.
Because I'm here.
Well, we used to do Q&A and we gather questions, and those are fun. But it's always awesome to see people live and then getting a reply to them and then get a reply from folks. So, Taylor, go ahead. No, go ahead, Jake.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you're any of the ones watching this on Facebook, I assume you're already followed. But if you're not, hey, follow us on Facebook, okay? You'll get these. Welcome to the Hunter's Advantage podcast.
And Outdoor Defiance.
No, obviously follow Outdoor Defiance and everything cool Gunner has going on there. But
Dude,
all right, I'm sorry, I'm done.
That's awesome. Oh, there he goes. No, Taylor, I know we're streaming to your Facebook and Instagram, but where can people that are following us check out your videos and stuff?
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any of that. We're launching our first podcast Wednesday at 1:15, so tomorrow. It's kind of me and Gunner go over how we got started and in hunting, and then how we built up to how we got started as Outdoor Defiance. So you don't want to
get us on.
I'm going to get Hunter's Advantage on when I'm desperate. No. All jokes aside, we have some pretty cool lineup of people coming up, and I think we're I think you guys don't want to miss out. But definitely catch all of our podcasts. Hunter Advantage has some sweet stuff. We're gonna have some sweet stuff. I think you can learn stuff from both.
Last comment, Jake, before we go.
You guys gonna do any more with Charles Beatty? That guy has a watchable quality. That is true. That man's a great storyteller. RGS, I think allegedly we have something planned for mid-March. So be sure to stay tuned for that. I assume it won't come. It'll probably come out quickly after that. But yeah, anywhere from mid to late March. Just be prepared.
Yep. All right. Well, wherever you're following, listening, and watching, make sure to leave us a rating and review, subscribe, follow, whatever you do on that platform. And we'll catch you guys in 2 weeks on the bi-weekly, but the regular podcast will come out this week again. We appreciate it. We'll catch you guys later.
Love you.
Bye.
See you guys. God bless.
See you at the